Hi, everybody. Take two. This is Lorana, and it's time for Rose Garden Radio, live from the very center of the universe, Canton, Ohio. Yay. I'm so glad to be here. I'm glad you're here, and I have a great story for us today. I'm excited to share it. Um, Let me see, where are my drawing utensils? Oh, I'm sitting on them. It's an Easter surprise. Anyways, I have a great story. I can't wait to share it with you. And if you're new to Rose Garden Radio is dedicated to helping you shift from what we call 3D to 5D, living a life fully from your heart, living your dreams, and that can really happen, and it's as easy as pie. And I can't wait to show you and tell you a story, and from that I think you can extract some of the formula and how to do this. So yay, let's get started. So I'm going to draw a circle. The circle is really your pie life right now, and in the center I put a dot, but that is your spiritual heart, and that's where we're coming from. That place deep inside of you that knows what you desire. And our first job is to make the first slice in the pie. And I remember as a kid, it was always kind of messy getting that first slice out. And but we just need that first cut, which is easy. But this pie right now is in 3D, as are you. If you're watching this, you probably are. And that's your job, your love life, your lack of love life, your bank account, your lack of bank account, the good, bad, ugly, everything that's happening in your world is what's in this pie right now. But what we need to extract is your dream pie and your dream life, and that 5D life where you can live your dream, and you will. So it involves, the first cut is your desire. What do you desire right now? That's your first slice. And I have a really great story. It's about a young man named Bill. And oh my gosh, where do I start? I'm going to start with Bill's father, who I know. And Bill's father never lived his dream life. His dream life was to become an architect. Excuse me, an archaeologist. An archaeologist. See, if it was an architect, his parents back in the day probably would say, yeah, do that. But he wanted to be an archaeologist. And, like many parents will say, well, you're going to be poor, you're going to starve. They have all these worries about your life, and they project those worries onto you. And that's what 3D is very much like that. And so they're not doing anything unusual. And Bill's dad succumbed to that. He wanted to be an archaeologist, but his family had a business and an big accounting firm, and they wanted him to be in it. And so he gave up his dream, and he did that. Now, he made a very good living and this and that, but now he's in his 70s, and he's still telling people, I didn't go for my dream, okay? And his son, Bill, decided that I don't want to live my life that way. I don't want to go into the family business. I don't want to do it. I don't care about, the money or the sure thing, or I just want to live my life. So that was Bill's first cut of the 5D Dream Pie. Bill decided he was in his senior year. He's like 3 or 4 years older now, but I'll go back. Like when he was in his senior year, he took a trip to, uh, it was either Oregon or Washington State. And I can't remember exactly now, but I'm going to say Oregon. He went to Oregon and, no, I think it was Washington. He went to Washington, and when he came back from that trip, he told his parents, I'm going to, after graduation, I'm working. I'm going to save my money, and I'm moving to Washington. And they were shocked. They're like, "Oh no, no! Why? That's so far away. Why? Why? What are you going to do? What are you going to do?" So, anyways. Bill made that first decision, and he was a junior in college when he said this. And that summer, he worked really hard, and he saved a lot of money, and he did start school the next year, and probably upset the apple cart again with his parents, but he didn't like what he was doing, and he wasn't following his dream. He was kind of following his parents' dream for him. And so he dropped out of school and he moved to Washington. I'm playing the violin because I can hear all the parents out there crying because, when you're that close to a degree, it's kind of heartbreaking not to get it. But with that said, he took the leap when he took it. He felt it was right, and he moved out there. And before he went, he got on Airbnb, and he was researching every night. He was just looking for somebody that had a room in their house, and he found it, and he contacted them. And so he went there with a place to stay, and he decided, I have saved enough money for 3 or 4 months to live without worrying about any money, and I'm going to just give it a shot. And that's what he did. He went out there, and he ended up renting a house from a very wonderful, wonderful family. And they actually had a son that was similar in age to him, and they got to be friends. He took him around hiking and biking, and really, took him. He made friends easy, and he felt safe in these people's house. So it just couldn't have worked out better. But I thought, what am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do. And like I say, it was either Washington or Oregon, but one of those states, marijuana is recreational there. So Bill decided, I'm really into this, and I love it, and I want to work at a dispensary. So he went around and he looked at different dispensaries, and he found one that he really liked, and he started to work in there. And he would keep contact with his parents. They were worried, as most parents would be, but he kept in contact and let him know what he was doing. He had a job at a dispensary. He's just so happy, happy, happy. And he started to work out more and get into nature, and just take the time to say, who is Bill, and what does Bill really want to do? And what Bill realized was, I really like, kind of a carefree, minimal life. I really don't want my parents' life. I don't feel like I need, the house, the big house, and a car, and the 401k and all that. I don't know. It's just, I need to be true to myself. So he did. And so part of it is these slices, as they grow, Bill made a plan to move to Oregon or Washington, wherever it was. He did some research ahead of time. He lined up, he said, I'm going to make X amount of money. And when I do, I'm going, I'm out of here. And that's what he did. He worked, he saved, $3,000, $4,000, whatever he, had. It wasn't, didn't take a lot of time or money. He was living at home. So in the summer. So, anyways, he did all that. He made a plan. He set up something on Airbnb. So when he got there, he kept growing his slice. Then he hooked up with this their son who was really nice and met new people. He got this job at a dispensary and started to work out, feel good about himself, explore who he was, and he met this other friend at the dispensary, and they were friends with, they were all three friends. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get to. This new friend at this dispensary, him, and the son of the parents of the Airbnb. Okay, so we got that straight because these guys are all young. They're like 20, 21, that type of thing. Probably 21 to work at that dispensary, but young. But they were riding their bikes one day and kind of having fun on the trails and all that stuff. And then they stopped and they were just thinking and what would they like to do? And they collectively came up with this idea. They said, they're starting to come out with these THC drinks, and we all like THC, and we see how it can really, it's helped us, and how it can, help a lot of people, and whatever. We're just into it, but they're starting to come out with these drinks, and why couldn't we? Why couldn't we make one? And so they put their heads together, and Bill had some training with numbers in undergrad, even though he didn't complete it, and a lot of accounting and some marketing. And this other guy had advertising, and the other friend was just really good in people person. They had just the perfect trifecta for success. And so they found this, they got this idea about this canned THC drink that they called, what did they call it? Oh my God, Farm and Country or something. I forget what it was, but it was they worked up a brand, and they found a company that was able to can it, to bottle it for them. Okay. And I can't really give all the details on this because I made up that name because it's not, I don't want to give the real name to their drink, but I will tell you that they worked together and it didn't feel like work because they were doing what they loved. They designed this THC drink, and then they went around to the different dispensaries and bars and clubs that could sell them, and it caught on. And now they've got a warehouse. They've got people working for them. They ship these things all over the place, and they're making tons of money doing what they love, and more than their wildest dreams. And they're in their early 20s. So Bill went for it. He went off into the unknown, even though he might have not known what he wanted to do, but he knew what he didn't want to do. And he took a leap and created a dream pie for himself. And this is how it turned out. It turned out that now he has all the money that he could ever want. He's still living a happy, minimal life. He's dating a wonderful woman and just happy as a clam, but he took a chance on himself for something more. So that's the dream story, pie story of today, whether it's a key lime pie or a cherry pie or, a mulberry pie. It's your pie, it's your 5D dream life, and you can live it. Just make the first slice of knowing what you desire and let it grow. This center is your spiritual heart, and that heart, based on your desire, will pull in all the pieces. You don't have to worry about how this pie is going to be created. You just have to follow there'll be a feeling like, oh, maybe I should move to Washington. Maybe I should go apply at this dispensary. It's just one step after another will lead you, and then your pie will be created. But how it gets created, that is not your worry. And that's the beauty of it. That's why it is as easy as pie. So those of you out there, if you ever want to come in and chat about your pie, if I can help you in any way, I'm your sous chef. I'm willing to do it. I have plenty of time, and I'm interested in you. And I'd love to help you build your dream pie. And you don't have to be on my show. Don't worry. I might use your story, but as you guys know, I change all the names and everything. So you'll still be, it'll be anonymous. But I love you all. I hope you're enjoying this almost beautiful. It's a beautiful day. It really is. Weather-wise, I think we all maybe wish it was a little warmer, many of us, but I know I do. But anyways, it's all coming, and it's great. So until next time, I love you all, and I can't wait to see you. Okay. Bye-bye.